LDBC. This is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Boxing and MMA Show live. Okay, guys, the coach is going to talk to you guys just honestly. Okay, I'm not going to play around in this video. I'm not going to joke, and I'm not finna do any of that in this video. I'm finna talk to y'all straight from what I know. Okay. A lot of you said that by Germaine's post conference interview that she's gonna duck Cris Cyborg. Well, let me go ahead and explain to y'all. That's probably impossible. Okay, Germaine DeRandamie is not gonna duck Cris Cyborg. It's probably impossible for her to duck Cyborg, and I'm gonna explain to you why. The reason why Germaine DeRandamie cannot duck Cris Cyborg because contractually she can't duck Cris Cyborg. See, when the UFC, when they present to you a fight, you see, you can accept the fight or you can reject the fight. But see, what happens is you're going to be out of work for 6 months. How do I know this? First of all, I've read several contracts. Second of all, I've talked to 3 UFC fighters, and I asked them this question. And I said, do you have creative control over your career to pick your opponents? And all 3 of these fighters, 2 of the fighters that we all know, they said no. You don't have creative control. You fight who they tell you to fight. And if you refuse to fight who they tell you to fight, they put you on the shelf. And you got to find a way for 6 months to try to pay bills. See, the lifeblood of a UFC fighter is that you have to fight. See, you have to fight 2 and 3 times a year. With UFC, uses 3 to 4 in MMA. You have to fight. You have to fight to make your money to pay your bills. And unfortunately, Germaine DeRandamie doesn't have that option to pick an opponent. Only one woman has had that option, and that's lousy Ronda Rousey. That's it. Nobody else has had that control. Even Conor McGregor, to an extent. Dana White let him fight Nate Diaz twice. But Conor wanted to fight Nate Diaz a 3rd time. Sean Shelby, Dana White, WME, they said absolutely not. See, Germaine can tell you whatever she want to tell you. Okay? She can tell you anything she want to tell you. But at the end of the day, when the UFC, Dana White, Sean Shelby tell you, listen, this is who you're going to fight. Okay, you're fighting this person. You cannot turn it down. See, guys, that's what I'm trying to educate y'all and tell you, that these fighters, they don't have control over their career paths. They don't. Remember I told y'all, everything has to be about dollars and also common sense. I want y'all to look at Cris Cyborg. This woman has the look of a person that's utterly disgusted. She's very disgusted. In fact, Cris Cyborg would love nothing more to just walk into that octagon, fight Germaine DeRandamie right now, and take the belt from her. That's what and this woman is possessed with just anger. Cris Cyborg is a very angry woman. Okay? She's very angry. And I know that a lot of us, we think that Cris Cyborg is this nice person. To some extent, there's a nice person in there somewhere. But see, Cris Cyborg likes destruction. Cris Cyborg likes the smell of blood. And Cris Cyborg likes to beat people. Beat them 1 inch of their life. That's what she likes to do. See, let me tell you something. Cris Cyborg is violent. She's very violent. And she doesn't want to just beat these people. Nah, beating them not enough for Cyborg. See, Cyborg like hurting these girls to the point where she's marking them up. Where they got to be out for 6 to 8 months because, she beating them up so bad. See, by none, Cyborg will never be good for business. She too good. She'll never be good, but this woman is angry. She's very, very angry. And I've seen this look on a person's face before. This woman is angry. She's pissed off because she believes that Holly and Germaine fought for a belt that rightfully belong to her. The one good thing out of this for Holly Holm is, well, she don't have to fight Cris Cyborg. But Germaine DeRandamie does. And folks, understand something. I'm not saying Germaine DeRandamie can't have a puncher's chance or a striker's chance. I'm not saying it. Okay? Cris Cyborg is not a dumb fighter. Matter of fact, Cris Cyborg is probably one of the most intelligent fighters in mixed martial arts. She's very intelligent. See, Cris Cyborg, she's not going to stand in the pocket with Germaine DeRandamie. That'd be foolish. Cris Cyborg is going to use her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. She's going to take Germaine to the ground. She's going to do it relatively easier than what anybody else who took her down, they did. Okay? She's going to take her down a few times. Germaine is going to stuff some of those takedowns. But for the most part, Cyborg is going to be able to get Germaine to the ground. And Cris Cyborg, in my opinion, is probably the best women's MMA fighter, ground and pound specialist. That's just my opinion. I think she does ground and pound better than anybody, any woman in MMA. That's just my opinion. And that's just the way that is. Okay? It's going to stay my opinion, okay? It's going to stay my opinion. But one thing about Germaine, I actually think Germaine can go 5 rounds with Cyborg, but it's going to be a bloody affair. To go 5 rounds with Cyborg, there's going to be pain. There's going to be hurt. There's going to be probably some broken ribs. There's going to be a lot of different things if you go 5 rounds with Cris Cyborg. There's going to be hurt. Germaine DeRandamie, she's going to feel pain. And she's going to feel a pain unlike no pain that she's ever felt. But I think Germaine DeRandamie actually matches up good. The styles match up. But I don't think Cyborg, she's going to figure out quickly that she can't stand with Germaine, and she's going to look for the takedown. Now, here's the thing. This is where Germaine DeRandamie would have to get smart. She better work on takedown defenses over and over and over. See, she know how to fight. If it was a stand-up fight, I would almost favor Germaine DeRandamie to beat Cris Cyborg in a pure stand-up fight. But they need to go back and study Jarena JoJo Bars. They need to study that fight. And they need to study because Cyborg has a few weaknesses that a lot of fighters don't exploit, because people that get in the octagon with Cyborg, they're terrified. They're literally scared to death of Cyborg, so they don't implement a game plan. Jarena JoJo Bars wasn't afraid of Cyborg, and she had a game plan, and it worked. Now, I know that Muay Thai and being in the octagon is totally different. I understand that, okay? But all Germaine DeRandamie would have to do is keep the fight standing. It's going to be tough because Cyborg is unorthodox. She comes from crazy angles that you're not going to just sit back and just measure your punches with Cyborg. It's not going to happen. Cyborg changes levels. She moves around. I mean, she's rhythmic. She's very rhythmic to be so just crude. She's very rhythmic. But the inevitable is going to happen, guys. See, Cris Cyborg, I don't even think she cares about the title. The only thing Cris Cyborg cares about is this. Take a good hard look at this wall of destruction. And guys, I bring this wall back every chance I get. This woman has no interest in really being a champion. Cyborg don't care about that, y'all. This is what Cyborg cares about. Look at every single woman on this wall of destruction. You look at every last one of these women. And I'm talking about, folks, take a good look at these women. There's pain, torment, depression, fear, a sense of no reality, and finally, the ice-cold brutality of a woman who's angry. See, Cris Cyborg isn't really angry at Germaine DeRandamie. She's angry at the system. She's angry at Dana White for the comments that he said about her. She's angry at the UFC as a whole because of the way she's been treated. She's angry. Every fight that she's been in, she's been angry. And folks, this is what an angry woman with a chip on her shoulder, this is what she does. Folks, it's inevitable. Germaine DeRandamie will not be able to duck Cris Cyborg. And that, my friends, is just the way that is. I'm done. Subscribe, share, like.